Hi, my name is Michelle Mullins. Today I would like to talk to you about something I am passionate about. The thing that I would like to talk to you about would be cooking, and more specifically, cooking for others. Even though most people think of cooking as something as a must-do everyday essential, it is a daily activity that I do rather enjoy. I think of it as something I would like to do as rather than something I have to do. Some of my earliest memories are centered around cooking, and specifically cooking for others. Now, this could have something to do with my upbringing in New Jersey, with a big Italian family owning restaurants. Everybody in my family is inside or about cooking or owning a restaurant. As I grew to love cooking more and more, growing up in the restaurant, I met my husband, who is Mexican. Most of my earliest cooking was centered around Italian food and Italian cuisine. I started to learn new cuisine, cooking authentic Mexican dishes with his family. After this, I realized that I did have a love for different kinds of cuisine too. I wanted to learn more about other cuisines from around the world. I was able to take a couple classes. Around this time, I took another job in one of my family's restaurants once again, back in the kitchen cooking, also waiting tables. I got to interact with the public and see the joy that it would bring to them. My family that was around in the restaurant started to notice my progression in my skill. So, as my big family tends to do, they planned to have the next holiday, which was at Thanksgiving, at my house. Even though I was the youngest host, they gave me a list of what I was to make and what they would bring. I guess they were rather impressed because for the next 2 years, almost every holiday was hosted at my house. I did enjoy it, and I got to get a feeling of what it was like to have to serve a large crowd. I noticed how much I liked it and how efficient I was, even with not really a lot of formal training. Around that time, I got pregnant with my second child. My husband joined the army at around that time also. After basic, we learned that he would be stationed away from our home state. He would be stationed all the way in Fort Stewart, Georgia. At first, I did not know if we would move together, if I would stay back home, he would come on vacation. We decided together that we would move together with our daughter and our baby on the way, which turned out to be a boy. And I would stay at home with the kids for a bit. I hadn't stayed at home. I've had a job since I was 14, so this was scary for me. At first, I felt out of place, not knowing the people, and my husband being at work all the time. I decided I would take it upon myself to take some more culinary classes and just better myself a bit. I got to know a couple people in the cooking classes. Getting out really helped me make important friendships. One friend in particular that noticed that had in common with me the cooking was a woman named Sully. She had a small business with the same passion as me. She ran the business out of her small kitchen. When I say small, I mean small. The kitchen barely fit me and her together inside. We did manage, however, to come up with a new plan of business. We would pack the food into her small Pontiac, and we would go to my husband's work at lunchtime. And we would serve the food out of small styrofoam containers. It would be a set menu, and we would have probably two options out of the trunk of her car. Word got around, and we started to have larger orders. When holidays came around, or anything as a barbecue or anything like that, We were the host. If it wasn't at my house, it was at Sully's house. I had forgotten how much I enjoyed hosting. After 3 years of going about this and expanding the business somewhat, we were informed that my husband had finished his time in the Army and that we were going to be sent back home to New Jersey. I was kind of happy to get back to my family life and my family in New Jersey. As soon as I got back home again, it was back to hosting holidays. The first holiday back was Easter, and I was even better at it than before, and I loved it more than ever. My family was somewhat impressed with my skills and my growth. After I finished school, they're even pushing me to start up my own restaurant and backing it. But wherever I end up and wherever I do go in my future, I do know that cooking and cooking for others more specifically will still be a passion of mine.